What is going on, everybody? This is Slick from Baking the Clutch, and today I am here with Nicholas. Nicholas, we have our second ever BTC tournament. Today we are bringing you the first semifinal round, semifinal A, of our official 1v1 open tournament. Now, Nick, we have some of the best players. I know I say that every tournament, but it just seems to happen that way. We have the best players in the world in our tournament once again. Straight up. There's no dispute there. Right now, in this next game coming up that you're about to see, we are about to have the legendary Udpu, who's not only a champion of our last BTC tournament, but is also one of the best players in the world, going up against King of Reason, the number one 1v1 player from Season 2. Nick, these two guys are extremely coveted. They got a lot of accolades, if you will. They got a lot of wins under their belt, including crazy. I think Udpu has a 91% win ratio from Season 2, something insane like that. What is going on? We have a crazy, crazy match ahead of us.
I think we could have kind of predicted that this is how things would pan out. Udpu had a very difficult game against Nakamura, and I think that was his challenge there. But now, I mean, we're getting into the top 4 players left in the world, really. So we've got a fantastic best 2 out of 3 coming up between Udpu and King of Reason. I have zero idea what's about to happen, but we're extremely excited for this one. Cannot wait for it to begin.
Yeah, it's going to be really ridiculous. First map's going to be Ashes. Not really 100% sure what they're going to do for leader choice, Nick. I think they're just going to kind of go with their flow, go with their most trusted leaders. I mean, these guys, since they're at the top, most likely have matched each other plentiful times before. I bet you they played each other at least a couple times. So they might have a general idea of what's going on, Nick. So I think it'll be extremely interesting to see who's going to win this best of 3.
Yeah, as we referred to back in the pre-show that we did that came out on Friday, we talked about, do they bring out some wildcard strategies for people that maybe they're very comfortable against? Do they try to surprise them, or do they just stick with their guns, go with their best leader, and then just try to see who wins out on those just very small details? So it could go either way. I'm very curious. I do think we might see a double colony here, but there's no way to tell at this moment.
Yes, for sure. I know colony is definitely the meta at the moment. Say I've been seeing a lot of chopper skitterer action. So you'd see someone show up at your base in the first 3 minutes. There's not much you can do if you're not prepared for that. So it's going to be really interesting to see how these really, really good players combat each other that early in the game. If they go for something like that, if they go for, like you said, the wild card strats, you're never going to know. But I can assure you that you will learn a lot from these players and their crazy builds and whatnot in this series we're about to watch. Now, Nick, I know we have a couple special things we need to do before this game goes underway, especially the tournament.
Absolutely.
So why don't you jump right into that?
Sure. So we had several people who donated to the tournament, and we want to thank them very much for that. So first, we've got Nick Doty. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. We've got Jess, Preston, Doke, the BTC Presto. We've got George S. Patton and Super Saiyan Sage, all donated to the tournament. Again, we thank you so much. We are very humbled that you would want to donate to the tournament, and we hope that this is been as rewarding for you guys as it has for us. So thank you again to those who donated. And Pat, I want to give a special shout out to the Torres family. Want to wish them the very best during their difficult times. George Patton and Super Saiyan Sage could not be with us during this tournament. They had an unfortunate situation occur, and we wish you guys the very best and a speedy recovery for you and your family. If there's anything that Pat and myself can do, please feel free to reach out to us. You know how to contact us. So again, our support goes out to you guys.
Excellent. And not only that, but also want to give a huge shout out to the Discord moderator team for supporting us as we're growing immensely right now. And also with the tournament hectic craziness going on. Thank you so much. Firstly to admins Major Gabe and J Cup for setting the whole thing up and making it look super sexy and user friendly for everybody. And as well as all moderators as a part of the BTC fam. That would be Hossaside, Dank Turtle, Crystal Heart, Uncut, and I don't think I'm missing anyone. If I am, I apologize, and you've just been left behind. So, but anyway, without further ado, Nicholas, I think we should just jump right into this match.
Let's get ready. Let's do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are finally here. Semifinals, game 1 for semifinals A, that is. We have 2 absolute legends in our game here. We have King of Reason going up against Udpu, the already seasoned BTC champ from the 2v2 Open. Nicholas, what is about to happen? Some crazy, crazy games, I'm sure. What do you think is going to happen overall?
We've got 2 of the best players in the world about to fight it out in a best 2 out of 3 series. I'm gonna go ahead and put my money on Udpu.
Oh boy.
He's had a very strong performance. He knocked off Nakamura, who was 5-0 in this tournament. I'm sorry, 5-0. Look, King of Reason was the #1 player in Season 2, but I still got to put my money on Udpu, Pat. But again, it's anyone's game. There's no
absolutely.
telling what's about to happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of money on the line, too. I mean, I should say a lot more than last time. That's a lot of chicky nuggies. If you go out to McDonald's, you can buy a lot of chicky nuggies, chicky tendies, if you will. So with this prize pool at hand, I think these two players are going to bring their absolute A game. And I think I'm going to have to put my money playing devil's advocate, Nicholas, as we always do with ourselves. I think King of Reason is going to be my man. I know I completely doubted him in the pre-show. A lot of people call me out on that. Like, Slick, you didn't even mention this guy. But this guy, like you said, Nick, #1 Season 2 1v1 player. Probably one of the best in the world, if not the best. I think he is going to just easily take this series. I want to say 2-0 against Udpu. I'm sorry, Nick. I'm sorry I just did that, man.
Wow.
I know. Udpu, I know you're watching this,
I don't think you've ever been more wrong in your life. Udpu's about to 2-0 this one.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, all right. Before, I might as well quit while I'm ahead. Let's just jump right into the match and see what happens. First game is going to be Ashes. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. The first real recorded match of the BTC 1v1 Open. I'm your host, Slick, with Nasty Nick as my co-host, and I am going to be starting us off with King of Reason himself, starting off as Atriox versus Udpu's Colony. I'm pretty excited about this. I hate mirror matches as much as the next guy, so seeing a little bit of variation is awesome. We're going to start right away. I'm going to self my base here because we have to work around no spectator mode. I'm actually going to pull my Marines a little back. King of Reason immediately off the bat, sending his grunts to grab basic supplies. Nothing crazy as of right now, just a harvester start. Nick, what do you got over there in Udpu?
So Udpu's immediately going to spread out his grunts, obviously, to pick up some resources, as many as he can. And then I see a chopper immediately queued up for him, and a double harvester as well to start this match.
Excellent. Okay, so that's actually exactly what I'm seeing on this side as well. So we got, even though we don't have a mirror match, we definitely have some mirror moves here. Once again, also, King of Reason going with the chopper. Looks like they're both kind of going for that middle power crate, Nick. I don't know what they're doing on your side, but it looks like that's what King of Reason's
exactly what Udpu's doing as well.
So we're going to have our first engagement of the entire semifinal right now. That's what it looks like to me.
Well, Udpu has not grabbed the one on your left. He has grabbed the one on his left. He's playing it a little bit safe right now. He's not going for the major power source right now. And also with Udpu, we've got a double harvester power extractor build right now, which is interesting because as far as I've seen it, you go harvester, extractor, harvester, but maybe this kind of build right here that he's got going is going to be able to get him a few extra choppers out.
Excellent. And you know what, Nick? That makes perfect sense to me because over here with King of Reason, we also have a double harvester power extractor build. So, just pretty basic stuff. Upgrading the harvester right away and already going for a third chopper at 1 minute 30, Nick. I think I'm about to see some crazy, crazy aggressive chopper play here out of King of Reason. Actually, we see two choppers immediately pushing up towards Udpu's base, Nick.
That might cause some trouble for Udpu right now because he queued up a chopper, but it never came out. His base could be locked. That's a possibility. And Udpu's also going for his back expansion right now. I'm sorry, his mini base expansion.
Oh, yeah. And you know what? I said that he was going to push, but actually it looks more like King of Reason's just kind of getting some surface area on the map, just trying to see what's going on across the entire board, grabbing a couple supplies and hunting down grunts.
Yeah, and it looks like right here we'll have the first engagement of the tournament. He's going to take out one of the grunts, which isn't too big of a deal, although it would have been nice to pick up a little bit more resources. It looks like Udpu is actually going to opt for the double mini base expansion right now. Possibly with the amount of harvesters he has, Pat, he might be able to get a double or triple pump going.
Wow, and Nick,
I'm
seeing something very crazy here too. I'm actually seeing a double mini base grab from King of Reason here. Literally at the same time, so I think he's just committing to a crazy chopper pump. I think this might be chopper number 6 here coming out. I'm honestly not positive here. It's a little ridiculous, but that is the kind of pressure you need right away to subdue Udpu.
Okay, well, as I said that he was going to go for that second mini base expansion, I'm wrong. As Udpu would always have it, he just has to spite me. He's actually going skitterers on his choppers right now. He's pumping choppers out of one mini base, and he's getting skitterers on them from his main base. This could play a big role here, and it might actually negate the amount of choppers that King of Reason has. Yeah, just having those extra skitterers.
And that makes sense to me, Nick, but at the same time, I'm still not seeing anything super crazy. King of Reason just now throwing a building down on one of his mini bases. Looks like he's got only harvesters, so I'm not seeing an apex. I'm not seeing any engineer play, any engineer shield craziness, but it looks to me like
here's
we have
the first engagement. They're both going right down the middle.
Oh,
and King of Reason
big engagement here. Well, quick rams there too, man. Oh, but he cancels the ram.
Look at those skitterers. They were doing some great things. Oh my goodness.
God, the dodge there.
The ram's not working.
Oh no, you need to back up, King of Reason.
Look at those skitterers.
Oh,
they are
no.
doing an immense amount of damage to these choppers. Pat, that might be a great play. If you ram the enemy, or if you let them ram you, they take some health off, and then your skitterers can simply just shoot them without taking damage.
Exactly that, and the skitterers
might be a fantastic play.
Yeah, skitterers give a massive amount of health boost to those choppers as well, so it's fine. Go ahead and ram my unit, says Udpu. That's okay. I don't really care. Of course, we are seeing a little bit of a cowboy chase here. Not in my town, he says King of Reason. He's going to back up and go towards the power node, just kind of scoot around Udpu's units. I'm not sure if Udpu
pushing
saw it.
Straight up to the base right now with choppers, with skitterers. The engagement begins right here. It looks like he might want to. Yeah, there he goes. He's focus firing that extractor. If you can drop an enemy's extractor that quickly, Pat, I mean that's just a big advantage when you push into this late game.
Yeah, for sure, man. And that's all he's doing. He's only sent 3 choppers. It's really not that big of a deal.
Here we go.
Oh no, I regret saying that. I see a big blue army coming across the map, but of course a base trade at the same time. Nicholas, I'm going to be keeping my eye on King of Reason's choppers.
Okay, and I'll keep mine on Udpu. I think Udpu has the slight advantage here with his skitterers actually doing a little bit more damage. His first extractor, King of Reason's extractor that is about to drop, and it's an upgraded extractor. And don't forget that Udpu on his main base has 2 extractors, so if he loses one, he's still got a bit of an advantage over King of Reason right now.
Oh yeah, he's definitely going to win the tech game for sure. But of course at the same time, man, King of Reason, as he should, he's actually taken 2 more expansions on his side during this Udpu engagement, man. Absolutely crazy plays. He's taking advantage of the Atriox fortifications. Yeah. Oh yeah, dirt cheap bases might as well invest, he says. He's definitely being a professional realty manager, definitely taking advantage of the situation as best he could.
Look how slow King of Reason is attacking Udpu's base. Udpu is rinsing everything with those skitterers and chopper combo, and he's also got a couple engineers out here as well. Udpu, that is. I think Udpu's still got the advantage, but he needs to scout and figure out if he's got those other 2 bases.
Yeah, and on top of that as well, Nick, King of Reason, seeing that he's going to lose a potential part of his base, he's going for an Apex play, hopefully to get some kind of engineer support. His chopper production is just so ridiculously good right now. He could actually pump from 5 locations at once at the moment. So as long as he maintains that, I don't think Udpu could at least swarm over their units. I think they're going to have a big engagement, man-to-man, army-to-army.
I really think Udpu's still in the advantage, though.
Yeah,
it looks like Udpu's doing a good amount of damage to the base. He's got those skitterers that are doing extra damage, and it looks like just King of Reason's not doing enough damage quick enough. Even though, look at all those choppers, and there are a few weak choppers in there, which could give the advantage to Udpu. He's got those engineers, he's got the skitterer combo. So I do think if they engage in a one-on-one, Pat, I think Udpu's got it, and he's pulling out Banshees now this late in the game, or this early in the game, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's going to be something interesting, man. I don't know how. This is going to be such an awkward trade-off, man.
He has just dropped in
Goliath. Oh no, man.
Oh no, and they're just going to wreak havoc on this base. King of Reason's going to lose that base.
Oh, I honestly think you might be right on that, man, because at the same time, King of Reason's starting to fly a couple engineers over. And of course,
look at Udpu, he's got some good attacks.
Yeah, he's just going to start, say, bringing a couple of units back every now and again, getting him involved with King of Reason's army, just trying to stall them, killing his main, because Udpu is most certainly going to win the base trade going on right now.
Udpu has spotted King of Reason's second base, and King of Reason has actually just got a shield gen on that base. So even once this engagement is over, Udpu's got to pull back, and he's got to engage the choppers at his base. He can defeat them easily. And there goes the very first base in the semifinals A. Actually, Udpu, it looks like, is just going to opt to walk over and attack his King of Reason's main base, Pat. I don't think he's going to go back for the engagement.
Yeah, I think as long as he's able to take out this army sitting at his main, he will be at least in a good position. Because at the same time, King of Reason he still has 2 bases that are up and running, man. That fortification Atriox play most certainly coming in his advantage, as he's just going to keep just slowly taking over the map. That's his only desperation play he has, Nick. I think as soon as they fight army to army, I don't think that King of Reason can pull out a win on that.
I'm a bit confused. I want to say Udpu. Well, there he goes. Udpu finally picked up the base. He's actually picking up the base where King of Reason's main base used to be. He's got to knock the shield gen down quickly, and he's got to progress as quickly as possible. I can't imagine, Pat, and if you mind pushing or opening up the production tab to tell me, is King of Reason got a good economy going on right now? Because I can't imagine he does.
he does have a nice flow. Looks like supply and power is coming in at a perfect rate, honestly. But his spending is great too. He's making sure to keep that thing as low as possible. Make sure he has as many units as possible. Oh, but here we go. Here comes a withdrawal from Udpu's main. He's killed everything on the main. He says, you know what? This is our only chance to stay in this. I have to push Udpu's army.
He's got to engage.
I can't just sit around here. And this is exactly what we were saying, where the army just needs to happen. The army attack needs to happen. The showdown for the cowboy turf needs to happen. Of course, jumping Reavers out of the way.
Oh,
but the choppers.
Look at those choppers fly across the map.
Oh my god, some hacks coming out of
One
King
has
of
just
Reason
fallen off the map. He just dropped off the center of the earth. Wow,
Oh
and
my
that
God,
distraction right there was able to get
shield,
King of
dude.
Reason's shield generator back
going
up.
on?
And here's the engagement that might seal the game number 1 here, Pat.
Yeah, look at this. It looks like the choppers are coming out here. Oh, big pickup there on the ram, but you gotta be careful. Of course, Goliaths are no threat to choppers at all. Just constant skirting. And King of Reason's be able to do
as
pretty
you
good
say
here.
that, he just sprinted with them.
Oh, jeez, well, the ram is great, but then he's got to wait for the cooldown, Nick. So he's just going to
Well,
be
here we
sitting
go.
just
Here's the
scouting.
engagement, Pat. He's got
he
Banshees, he's
pulled him
got
right into
Engineers in the
Banshees.
mix.
Oh, he's got to lose the Engineer. That's really crucial right now. You really need that shield. Stop engaging this King of Reason. Oh, but he tries to say, he saves the Engineer, man. Absolute one-shot on that Engineer. Oh, they're trying to pick it. Will he be able to keep it alive? He needs to pull back into the shield and just keep his units alive as much as possible. Reaver sitting at his main base right now, his newly purposed main base, I should say. We got 2 Reavers out and a bunch of shield protected units here sitting at King of Reason's new main. Nick, what is Udpu doing in response to this right now?
So after all of that engagement, Udpu's now got 2 bases. I think King of Reason has a slight advantage on the economy side.
Oh, and he just spotted Udpu's Expo too.
Yeah, and it looks like Udpu's actually going to opt to pick up some of these power nodes in the center of the map, which is probably a fantastic play if he can just secure them long enough. And it looks like King of Reason, Pat, and tell me if I'm wrong, is he going anything other than Reavers? Because Reavers will not beat Banshees. I know it sounds weird, but they won't win in that one-on-one engagement.
No, actually, he's got a raid camp on his expansion. Because keep in mind, Nick, like I said, King of Reason, even though he lost his main base in that engagement, he had so much time to set up not only 1 base, but he set up 2. So he's producing Reavers and Hunters at the same time out of his 2 bases.
Why Hunters, Pat?
I don't know. I bet you his number 1, maybe just to deal with a couple choppers. But I think that
Come on,
he's
the
just trying
choppers
to...
are not the threat right here.
He's just trying to get a couple steps ahead because he knows if he keeps his Reavers at a distance like he has them, he can just snipe from afar. But he definitely needs some Rangers right now to combat with the few Hunters, because those few Hunters, man, they can do a lot of damage to those Reavers.
Right now, Udpu is getting the heal on his secondary base, and I really think Udpu's still got the advantage here because he's going Banshees. I don't like the Hunter and Reaver combo. I think that's a weak combination from King of Reason when we get into this late game, because as we've seen before in matchmaking, Pat, Banshees dominate Reavers. It might sound crazy, but it's absolutely true. And the Hunter play to counter the choppers, yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. No one's going choppers at this point in the game.
I think he was just trying to play a couple steps ahead in terms of the rock paper scissors game, Nick. Because right here we actually have King of Reason starting to produce a little bit of Rangers here and there. Of course, Rangers aren't really that bad economy wise. I think they're only 90 power, so you can still survive. Say the pump isn't really too difficult to maintain, and of course King of Reason trying at third base, sacked his foundry and going raid camp too. Oh yeah, of course Udpu, being the knowledgeable player he is, does indeed scout that base. But of course at the same time King of Reason is going to take this advantage because he knows that he's had the base advantage the entire game. He can just tell in terms of production who is in the lead here. So as long as he just keeps a lid on those Hunters, I think he's still going to be in a great spot. Oh, but great Hunters brand! Oh, with the bulwark at the same time saves 2 of those choppers.
Wow, he didn't lose anything with the bulwark.
Oh my God, incredible play there. Just keep the Reavers back. Those
choppers are, I don't know if that was a good play to ram. There's a bunch of weak choppers. If he can focus fire these Reavers and get them out, then the choppers are easy pickings from there, Pat.
Oh jeez, all those, dude, every single chopper is at least half or less, but there's the dying breath. Gotta keep those units alive, keeping the Rangers and the micro. The army is just too big here for Savior, man.
It looks like Udpu has lost his advantage in this engagement with that clutch Atriox bulwark in that mix, Pat.
Yeah, and there's a couple Rangers coming out there, but just the Rangers and the Reaver combination.
Oh, here's
here. But
some
good
Marauders
focus fire on that Reaver, man.
Slow the play down.
Yes, exactly that, because that's all you need to do is just constantly keep... Oh, but there comes the Ram on... Oh my God,
Look at how weak all of those units are, though, Pat. I mean,
Breath,
it looks
man.
like King of Reason might have had the advantage there, but he has got so many one-shots, and it's because he kept ramming. I don't know if it was necessary to ram units like that, because you just damage yourself, and they were already going to die regardless.
Yeah, so true. And just Udpu, even though he did lose a huge chunk of his army, man, those few Banshees have just paid so much. They have definitely killed way more units than they're worth, and they are definitely helping him maintain his hold on this mini base, or this expo, sorry.
Now, Pat, is it going to cost King of Reason the game? The fact that he didn't finish off Udpu's main, because Udpu's main's back up running. There's nothing wrong with it. He's now got a secondary base, obviously. It needs a little bit more upgrading to do for it to be truly effective, but was not killing Udpu's main a mistake?
I don't think so, because I think if he wouldn't have pulled back, he would have lost his second base as well. So I think he had to pull back to at least save the engagement and at least keep it in his favor, because at the same time, King of Reason, man, he's had two bases up and running much quicker and much longer than Udpu has. Let me be 100% honest with you. And at the same time, King of Reason says, you know what, I need to take advantage of my Atriox leader powers. King of Reason has now taken both of the far right expansions that are open on the map, Nick, and it might be your far left, but what he's doing is making sure to buy as many bases as possible under Udpu's nose, and that's exactly what you have to do when you have that good economy running and you have the Atriox fortifications.
Now, if I'm going to take a peep at the production tab, Pat, I'm a bit confused on Udpu's play. He's got 1,500 resources right now, and he's got about 500 power. So I'm not sure what he's waiting on, but it looks like... I actually don't know. I think he's just going to stick with the Banshee play.
Oh, jeez. And you know, that's okay.
Little Banshee and Elite Rangers, Pat.
Because if you have enough Banshees, man, you can just skirt around the map, make sure you apply that little pressure. Like, Reavers still, even though they are intimidating, man, fully upgraded Banshees versus fully upgraded Reavers, man, Banshees still come out on top, and if they lose, they only lose by a little bit. So, as long as he maintains his Banshee pump, he could be in a great spot. We're seeing King of Reason just constantly produce Hunters. He split his army up a good amount supply-wise in terms of about 1/3 Reavers, 1/3 Rangers, and 1/3 Hunters at the same time.
Okay, Udpu has just dropped in. I don't know exactly what it's called, but he dropped in one of the big assaults, and it came with a few upgraded veterancy units, and this could be crucial right here. This is the engagement we've been waiting for, and it looks like Udpu's winning this engagement, if I'm not mistaken. It dropped in a Locust, which is going to help take that shield out.
I'm so astonished that Udpu is able to get all of these units up. And of course, but the Hunter's Brand.
Oh, Hunter's Brand.
Oh, with the Bulwark and Dying Breath at the same time. Even though the shield was going down, if you just stay there.
Udpu's got to back off this for a second.
Oh, jeez, just let the Bulwark fail. Oh, but he's going to keep a lot of his units alive. With the Dying Breath, he will be able to still do a good amount of damage before he loses everything. But
notice honestly, how Udpu's bailed on the Banshees, so those Reavers are absolutely useless now.
Oh, geez, so true. And the Wraith tanks, man, backing him up. Look at the micro there. Keep him out of range of the Hunters and just letting the... my great spear drop there. Suicide Grunt's doing a great number on that. Oh, my God, dude. King of Reason using everything in his arsenal to make sure that he at least maintains this army, jumping the Reavers away in the last second before one dies, and getting the shield back up on his base. Oh, my God, dude. I am breaking a very serious sweat, and I could not be lying anymore. I don't know how I still have my voice right now. Right now, as you can see, guys, we just made a video on this. 2 shield generators gives you the purple shield. Right now, King of Reason knows that he needs to maintain a solid defense, and this is the way to do it. Udpu's going to try to retreat his army across the map. That might have been the engagement that puts King of Reason at a definite lead, Nick. Like I said, how many bases does Udpu have right now at the moment?
Still got one fully upgraded, and then his second has not been upgraded yet. Udpu is going to focus more on Elite Rangers right now, and he's walking them into King of Reason's army right now.
Yes, and King of Reason, man, King of Reason has 4 bases. 2 of them are upgraded at least once, up to Citadel. I'm not sure about the other bases right now, but of course, Udpu using the triple pump raid camp for Rangers. Try to run them away as best you can, man. The range on Rangers...
I don't like the Ranger play, though.
I don't know, man. I think that's what he kind of needs. Because, oh, look, there we go. 6 Rangers can really do a serious number on an entire infantry army, man. Even though he is going to just look at that. Focus firing, the one-shots there. King of Reason doing an excellent job. With the Dying Breath still active on some of those Rangers, it seems. That is going to put him at a little bit of an advantage. Oh my.
I think he's just going to walk away from that engagement. And here come the Wraiths trying to finish off a few of those one-shots, which is pretty crucial. I mean, it's a great play. You knock out some of those Hunters right away, some of those damage dealers. And I'm not sure why he's trying to keep those Reavers alive at this moment. I would kind of maybe want to sacrifice them and just get other populations out, because Udpu has obviously bailed on the airplay, but maybe he's just using it as a precautionary measure.
Right, and I just gave it a quick look-see around the map, and I do see that that King of Reason does have... he has not upgraded his 2 side expansions that he's been producing on. He does have a little bit of power and a lot of Harvester gain going on there. So he's just using those bases as he's definitely made his money back by now for sure, but he's just using those as a money grabbing basis so he gets a little bit better economy. Of course, his production is still going great. He's got 1 Apex, 1 Raid Camp on his main, and then 1 Raid Camp on his Expo, so he is still producing a lot of units. He doesn't want to grab the mini base, I'm assuming, because it might be a bad move. I think Udpu is just too strong. With his army control, he'll just push up and take it out.
And he's also just dropped in another set of Veterancy Goliaths right here. And he finally upgraded his secondary base. It looks like he's going to get a Foundry and maybe a Harvester on that base. Interesting play to get the Foundry out. I feel like he needs to work more on the economy side, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean, he's getting a good amount of resources, but he's not matching. I can't imagine he's matching King of Reason's economy right now with how many bases he has and how many Harvesters he's probably got on those bases.
Yes, I'd say you're pretty correct on that. It looks like also right now King of Reason, although in a great spot right now, his power node control hasn't been that great, and it really does matter at some point in the game to make sure that you do get the power nodes. I'm assuming Udpu has at least 4 or 5 of them at this point. Just looking on the mini-map. And of course, Udpu with a little bit of cheeky garrison play, trying to keep his Rangers alive there, but the triple spread there from King of Reason will be able to take him down. Nick, really not seeing too much of a sizable army here from King of Reason. Not sure what it's looking like for Udpu, but I'm only seeing a couple Reavers, Rangers, and Hunters still. It looks like he's sticking with that, and a few Suicide Grunts thrown in the mix.
So it looks like I would say that Udpu's going mainly Elite Rangers, which I find pretty interesting. He's got a couple Goliaths in there, a Wraith, a Engineer, and then he's starting to pump out some Locusts. Now that Locust play might be to drop that shield generator that he's hiding in.
That's exactly what it is, Nick.
And he's keeping it in the back of the army. No reason to have those Locusts engage up front, because it's just a lost cause at that point if those Locusts try to engage. So he's trying to bait him out is what it looks like right here.
Yes, and as long as he's inside that shield, he's going to be in a great spot. Using the Goliaths there
he's having the Goliaths to sprint in.
Yeah, exactly like that. Just trying to get the ram off. Keeping them inside the shield is going to be fine for him. He's not going to lose anything right here. I think he was just trying to scout and see the army composition. Of course, you do see that, Nick. You do see that we have a couple Banshees now. He had his base locked as soon as I started talking about the army comp, of course. So he does have a lot of Banshees now in the mix, a couple Locusts.
He's a step ahead. He's got a few Reavers in that mix now as well.
Yeah, exactly like that. Just always reading each other. We're just seeing that a lot of that out of these players. Constantly running the Banshees away. Oh, big engagement there. Going to be able to clip an Engineer. Each Engineer is crucial at this point, Nick. And this little standstill, this standoff here is definitely going to be elongated for a little bit longer, I think.
And I mean, whoever wins this standoff, I'd imagine wins the game, right? This is one that you just don't want to overcommit with, because then the King of Reason may overrun Udpu's units and then take out his secondary base. You really got to be very careful here. And the same goes the other side. King of Reason can't overextend, otherwise he'll lose his main. I mean, this is just a really tricky and strategical play here that both teams are bringing forward.
Oh, for certain. And just look at this constant, look at the control, Nick. Just poke and prod, poke and prod. No reason to invest too much in this. No reason to just overcommit and lose my army. We saw a lot of that from Udpu in the 2v2 tournament with his Sentinel play, just always knowing when to push, when to hold, when to fold, right? And he's continuing to prove that he can still do that. Constantly just getting a little bit of a poke. Look at that. Every single time he shoots that shield gen, Nick, he will get it a little weak.
Exactly. You know exactly what he's doing is the fact that he pushes every few seconds and makes sure that shield does not stop.
Oh, but the eradication drop
great
there.
Eradication beam.
Oh,
can Udpu save himself?
Oh, but the Hunter's Brand on his other units too. Oh, the Bulwark might be a little too late, but of course he does get that dying breath off. Retreat, save your units. Back up. Oh my God!
He's got to back up off that because
although
Aatrox's Bulwark actually prevents units from it slows down their time of death, they can still die in that. And Udpu was able to take advantage of a few of those one-shots in there with those Locusts.
I just can't believe that he kept his army alive there. That is so insane to me. That dying breath went down at the exact moment that the Hunter's Brand was there. This man has the quickest thumbs in the universe, it seems like. But Udpu taking a perfect advantage of that.
Look at Udpu. He's continuously stopping that shield gem from regenerating, Pat. This is crucial. I think Udpu might have the advantage here.
I'd say so, man. I mean, it's just so hard to tell. Of course, he did keep all the Banshees alive during that last engagement. Starting to do a little bit of spear drop to get those Suicide Grunts in with the Rangers. Really close quarters at combat there will definitely reward him. But look, there we go. Just constant spirits flying in and out, man. Just flying in and out.
Here's the Goliath. He's going to have them take the shield.
Just a little bit of meat shields. Like I'm saying, using those Goliaths, you're going to have to kill them at some point. And if you don't micro the whole time, they do get hits off. Oh my,
this is absolutely crucial here, Pat.
I have never seen an engagement last this long in one spot, I would say. Not in Halo Wars 2 anyway. Lots of engage. Oh my God, look at that. The Suicide Grunts there do hit. That did a number on those Hunters, man. But they do just need
King of Reason's really low on health right here.
Oh, every single unit too. Rangers still coming out of Udpu's expansion, just constantly triple pumping those Rangers, man.
It
Look
looks
at
grim
Raid's
right now
gonna
for
die.
Udpu, but I think Udpu still might have the advantage
Oh, it's so
just based on
close
King
to
of Reason having
call.
so many one-shot units.
Focus
Udpu's
firing
got to
the
attack
Reavers.
that base though and prevent that shield gem from coming back up, Pat.
Yes, for sure, and he has to also keep micing away from those Goliaths, man. Those Goliaths that he dropped in the Spirit are still alive. Just applying a little bit of pressure, man.
Doing a good amount of
Constant
damage.
Back and forth. Where's the shield? We need a shield, says King of Reason. There it goes. Getting his ×2. Actually, ×3. The
Wow.
blue shield is up now, Nick. We officially have a blue shield coming out of King of Reason. Still, like, he's still got his expansion up and running, man. I'm going to check the other bases as well. As he is looking at them, he has upgraded and shielded not one, but both of his expansions, Nicholas. He's got a War Council on one, so his production is so superior right now. Nick, what does Udpu have for bases? Does he have 3 or 4 yet?
No, Udpu still has 2 bases
man.
now. His first base is just a resource base, right? And he's got a shield generator on it, trying to prevent that attack from happening on his main base. And actually on his secondary base, he's got 2 foundries, 2 raid camps, a war council, and 2 shield gens.
Oh my.
Just got his second one up. They are playing for the long game, and it looks like Udpu's actually, well, he moved to the center of the map, and I think he's going to try to pick up some of these power nodes that haven't been picked up yet.
Oh, for sure, and that makes sense to me. You know, just it looks like
Especially
same
with that
thing
War
for King of
Council
Reason too. Yeah, King of Reason just sending out. Oh, there's one in the middle that hasn't been taken yet. That's excellent. And then of course, oh, awkward meetup there. 2 engineers versus in a ranger versus 1 ranger. You got to get out of there, buddy. Oh, and the Locust is going to get a little
shows up
pick there.
to finish that one off.
Oh, okay. I see a star on the map. Looks like we have an Atriox Chosen coming out from King of Reason.
boy.
Oh boy, that might be the end game right there, Nicholas. They might have to. Udpu might just resign after he sees that.
Do you think that it's that deadly of a unit?
No, I don't. I think it's absolute shit, and I think he's just doing it because he just has so much money. There's nothing to do.
All right, just want to make sure we're on the same page because I was a bit confused on that one.
Atriox Chosen is OP, guys. Make sure you tell CA and 343 that right away. Of course, now we do actually have, getting rid of the cringy awkwardness aside, we do have a big push here. King of Reason is moving up to Udpu's expansion here.
Now, again, this is not a good push. Udpu's got 2 shield gens. He's got his units hiding inside of that shield gen. I mean, this is pretty much the reverse, right?
Yeah,
what
for
we
sure.
just saw Udpu doing to King of Reason, we've got it on this side now.
You know, I'm really worried for Udpu, though, Nicholas, because King of Reason just has such a good economy right now. So many bases on the map. It really doesn't matter if he loses this one base. The only reason he has it here, I think, at this point, is just to have the triple shield gen on it.
Distract.
Yeah, you know, just constantly like, hey, man, you take your time. You keep trying to engage me, keep losing those engagements, because I'll just keep my economy booming. I'll keep all of my unit upgrades happening, and I will have the superior army every single time.
So, Pat, as of this moment, do you think Udpu is lost just based on the fact that King of Reason has that many more bases on him?
I honestly think he might. I just don't know how. I mean, Udpu is an incredible player for certain, man. But I just don't know how Udpu could possibly make a comeback 2 versus 4 in terms of base count. And of course, doing some great job there. Not sure if he's going to get that shield anytime soon. Keeping the engineers on that, throwing Dying Breath down right now. I think he's committing this, Nicholas. That might be a bad time to do it, though. Oh, I'm sure his Hunter's Brand. There it goes. Hunter's Brand's going to do a lot of damage there. Oh, Bulwark at the right time.
There's Atriox Bulwark. It didn't do anything.
Lost anything, man. How in the world? I told you.
Udpu might lose this engagement here. He's got to back off. And here comes the suicide grunts. This could be game for Udpu.
Oh yeah, I say if he just focuses down those Hunters, man, gonna get him a really one shot. Of course, he uses the Hunter's Brand, man. The Hunter's Brand just didn't do enough. I'm sure if King of Reason just dropped Eradication, he doesn't even need to, man. He's got this little engagement right here in the bag, and I think he might pull slightly ahead because right now.
I think this game might actually be wrapped up. Only issue for, it looks like for King of Reason right now is the fact that he does not have Reavers in his mix.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you know, we're seeing a lot of plasma torpedoes going across all over the place. Banshees are fully upgraded, infantry is definitely fully upgraded, and everything else on the line here is just kind of just who can keep their army the biggest for the longest time, right? That's all it's coming down to. Like I said, we have constant pumps coming out of here for King of Reason. I think the reason why he's pulled ahead here is because of that Atriox quadruple base. See, they're Chosen right there, man. Chosen almost just took out that whole base, man. You just weren't ready for that. And of course, Chosen with a shield staying alive. Of course, constantly just maintaining the pump, you know, playing the rock, paper, scissors game. I want to make sure my army composition's great. I'm seeing 4 units come out at a time for King of Reason's main base. And of course, we found an expansion here. I hear a lot of self-destructing buildings, Nick. Is Udpu giving up, or is he sacking half his base?
No, Udpu just sacrificed that back base so he can make sure that that expansion, that mini base, to make sure that he gets a little bit extra money there.
Hey, that makes sense to me. Every single bit counts, especially at 27 minutes into Game 1 of the semifinals,
Yes.
Nick? Oh my, everything counts here because this game right here sets the tone for the rest of the semifinals. And we'll see exactly how King of Reason does if he maintains that. Like I said, number 1, player in Season 2 for 1v1s, and he has the highest ever CSR out of any player in Halo Wars 2 to date, which is pretty ridiculous, even more than Starstruck in 3v3s, and of course on a whole new level. King of Reason just constantly applying the pressure, thinking about when he wants to push a lot of Hunters this time. And of course, he has the upgrades on the Chosen.
If he's got
a
lot of Hunters, this might not work for him, because actually what Udpu's done is he's filled his entire... He's got 3 shields on his base now, and he's got so many Elite Rangers in that base that it'll be able to fend them off. He took those Banshees, Pat, and now he's moving to the other side of the map and picking up power nodes. So this might be a great play on Udpu's part.
I would say so, man. You know, and like, look at all the Reavers in that bubble. So many against all these Hunters. I think he's realizing that King of Reason says, oh boy, gotta back up. Gotta redo my entire army if possible. He's starting to mass a lot of units out of his Apex. I see just about everything he could ever want is happening in the right way right now. King of Reason hasn't upgraded his population all the way yet, Nicholas. Of course, he's Tech 3. He's got 2,600 supply in the bank, 800 power. So he has a lot of opportunity to do whatever he wants at the moment.
And Udpu, again, is still moving around the map, taking out some of these power nodes. And, I mean, look, King of Reason may have many bases, and he might be good on power, but if you have these power nodes, Pat, that's one less thing, that's one less extractor that you have to commit to your base, and that's a spot for a Harvestor or another air pad, so you can get Banshees out. So, I mean, it is crucial to pick up these power nodes, and Udpu, it looks like he's going to make a push for that 3rd expansion now.
Oh, geez, that's actually an incredibly good idea.
Comfortable.
Yeah, you know, he says, you know what, that's okay. You know, I'll go somewhere else, because he knows that the entire fortification is set up on King of Reason's main, or I guess his new main base, if you will. So as long as he doesn't engage with that shield gen situation, I think he's going to be in a good spot. So as long as he just avoids that, skirts around, goes somewhere else, that's probably a really good play. Especially because if he keeps the population high for King of Reason, then King of Reason can't get rid of these Hunters, man. He has to throw them in and sack them. And if he does it during the game-winning engagement, that could be a really bad move.
I think also Udpu might want to bait this Eradication Beam, right? Because if you can bait it, it takes, I think, like... okay, so he just spotted King of Reason's other base, so he's gonna try to figure out when's the best time to engage that. But back to the point, you want to get rid of this thing. There it is. That's a bad eradication beam.
Oh, I don't know if I do that there. He does it just to knock some of the shield out.
He did.
And then the Hunter's brand.
He got the Hunter's brand, and there's the Bulwark.
Oh my God, so fast every time.
So that eradication beam knocks off the shield gen. It could be a good play, but I think he's got the better engagement. He's got to get out of there, though, with that Bulwark engaged.
Yes, I don't know if I just stand here and take this if I was Udpu. Lots of craziness going down. Every single Ranger that he has really does help in the situation. Of course, Spirit Drop coming in to drop the Suicide Grunts. Udpu trying to micro them, not fast enough, man. Going to lose a lot of them there. Just applying the pressure. If the Locust can take out the shield generators, Nick, I don't think this base can survive. And I think Udpu might have just found his nail in his coffin for sure.
Yeah, I think that might be it. I mean, I thought that eradication beam was a bad one, but the ability to take off that shield gen and apply that Bulwark when he was going for the Hunter's brand, I think that really did win him the game here.
Yes, for sure. I mean, just keep in mind, like, this man is the quickest thumbs on the planet. Like I said, just constantly applying, you know, just dropping the Bulwark, dropping the, just dropping everything you possibly can, right? There were Suicide Grunts in the mix. There was a little bit of everything, all right? So as long as he just maintains that, he's going to be a great spot. Of course, Giant, with the teleport there, he is confident as possibly could be. Gonna engage all those vehicles with those Hunters. Right, he says, no, man, I'm done with this. I'm tired of waiting around. I don't want to see you continue to try this. I want the money for this prize pool, so you just wait for me to take it out this game, and I just want to keep going.
Now, he hasn't knocked off that base just yet. Is there any way Udpu can save this base, Pat?
I don't think so, man. I like the Reaver play. I think Udpu, since he stopped microing, is just kind of giving up of sorts. Just kind of right now, he's just sitting there thinking to himself, how the hell did that just happen? What did I do wrong? I can't believe that. What do I do next? I think that's kind of what he's thinking right now.
I really think it came down to Aatrox's ability to pick up bases at such a cheap cost, and he did it so quickly that he was able to get that better economy than Udpu. So I do think Game 1 is wrapped up, although there is still 2 more bases on Udpu's side of the map. I just don't know if he has the economy to really bounce back from this one.
Right, and there goes the sack base on the expansion from Udpu. And of course, King of Reason just sitting here, right here on his golden throne, just happy what he just did there. That's exactly what he needed to do to win that game.
There's a resign from Udpu.
Here we go. Incredible Game 1, Nick. I don't know about Game 2, man. Game 2 is going to be even more crazy. Let's jump right into Game 2. As soon as we're looking here at the production tab and the overview stats page of both players, we'll jump right into Game 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Pat, game number 2 ahead of us. What a fantastic first game, and this is the Super Turtle map, Pat, as you were suggesting earlier. We could be in for another long haul game. I mean, the other map wasn't even a Super Turtle map, and it turned out to be a 30-minute game. What can we expect here, Pat? They've both chosen to go the same leaders. Anything different here from strategies?
You know, I doubt it. I think that opener that they both had with the chopper skit versus chop, 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 as I want to call it, the slap chop, if you will. Actually, sorry, King of Reason, I just named your build for you. But I think that they're pretty evenly matched, and as long as they just, it all depends on who's going to lose more choppers in the first engagement. You know, choppers are everything. So the second they lose some, it's going to go into that long range game as long as one of them doesn't overcommit to something and lose all their units. So I think we'll start off with King of Reason here. We'll see what his build is, and I think we'll be able to know in the first couple seconds what he's going to do. So moving off right away, we see a chopper and a harvester thrown down immediately from King of Reason, Nick. So that is exactly what we're seeing, I believe. Right away, we're going to see the slap chop build out of King of Reason. Nick, what about Udpu?
Yeah, it's the same thing going on over here. Same build as last time. It looks like they're going to stay with their comfortable builds right now.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. You know, to say that's probably the winningest build right now. Choppers in the meta right now, pretty damn strong, if not some of the best, if not the best starting unit possible, especially for scouts for certain. There is no competition. As long as they maintain their control of the choppers, you know, that's how they're going to come out on top.
It looks like Udpu's going to opt to take his chopper towards the middle. Maybe he's either going to go for the middle or for the middle power, and then maybe that middle base, that for that side base, or I guess you don't want to opt for any other mini base at this point. You really want to take control of that center one because it really sets a tone for the game, Pat.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, say these mini bases are so far spread. I mean, you got the one right behind your main base, which is okay. That's a solid place to throw a mini base. You know, you're not going to lose it. You actually have two, on this map. So as long as you maintain both of those mini bases, anything extra is just going to be an advantage for yourself. So far, so good. I think King of Reason has just taken his first mini base behind his base, as opposed to last time where he double mini based it around, say, the 4-minute mark. So I think he's doing a more standard chopper build, I think, out of this one, Nick.
And actually, Udpu didn't opt to grab that mini base in the center. He's actually going to go and try to pick up some of this power, the supplies around the map with this chopper. He actually opted to pick up the mini base to his right, so it's not the mini base that I would have had, but he's definitely picked up a mini base here, and we're looking like a very similar strat. Actually, on this one, take that back. Udpu did not go extractor 5th on this one like he did last time, so maybe he's planning on taking more power nodes this game, Pat, or perhaps he wants to get more choppers out since they don't cost too much power. I believe it's 245 resources to purchase and then only 15 power, so you don't need too much power here. So this could be a play to get a constant chopper build out. And he actually just picked up a third mini base or second mini base.
Yeah, there you go. You know, I'm seeing just constant chopper production out of King of Reason. I think Udpu's probably learning from his last experience. Oh, wait a second. Hold up. I'm just going to change everything I was saying. We have a double power extractor play at a King of Reason, so he knows, you know what, this is a turtle map, just like Slick and Nick said, so we're just going to go for a quick tech 2 and make the magic happen. Of course, I think Velo, aka Udpu, might also be thinking about the same thing, but it all depends on what he's going to do, because, Nick, I think if Udpu decides to go for that crazy chopper spam like you're talking about, I honestly think that King of Reason might have a tough position holding this off.
I would agree with you. If he tries to turtle this one and doesn't get the proper units out, it could be a lost cause for him. Udpu is going to be able. Right now he's double pumping choppers and he's single pumping skitterers out of his main base right now, Pat. So he's going to just stack up. It looks like the similar strategy from last game. This time he went less on the power side and more on the resource side, which could lead to more choppers and more skitterers, which could be the way to counter King of Reason's play that he did last time.
Yeah, for sure, man. You know, I 100% agree with you on that. I think right now also, say, King of Reason is just totally spread across the map. If you look at the mini-map with me, boys, you'll see that he has units completely spread to all 3 corners on his side. He does spot a mini-base there from Udpu as he's starting to scatter around, so far so good. It looks like also King of Reason does have 3 mini-base expansions. I think he's just trying to get a read on what Udpu's deciding to do. So things are looking pretty defensive here from King of Reason. We got cross turrets on the main base, 2 augmented extractors, and I think he's just trying to figure out what Udpu is doing.
Again, this is one of those super turtle maps, Pat. So you really don't have to engage. I mean, you can really get comfortable on the map. You don't really have to engage immediately, but as I say that, Udpu just spites me. He's cutting across the map, Pat.
Oh, no.
He's going to go for that engagement. Udpu he's in our party chat right now, Pat, and he's just,
I don't know,
just hears me or something.
I think we should probably check that out after and see what's going
on.
Sneaky
fellow.
Yeah, he just creeps right in the
he's
Skype.
pushing right up. Now, he doesn't have engineers to heal up that chopper yet, so he's just going to engage, but here we go. This is the engagement we've been waiting for.
Oh my, right
He's
at the
not
front
waiting
door.
any longer.
See, with the 3 turrets, though, that might be good. Oh, with the vehicle symbiotes dropping down on those choppers, man, that might be a good idea. I don't know if he has enough to deal with these turrets, though. He's going to have to back up.
He needs to back up.
Oh, geez, see,
yeah.
Great turret play there from King of Reason. I can't believe he got the anti-vehicle turrets there just in time. He's throwing down a 4th turret on his main base. Now, Nick, if you were Udpu, what do you need to do in this situation?
You've got to tech quicker, right? You've got to get your secondary base out as quickly as possible. You've got to outproduce an Atriox, which is super difficult considering the fact that they have fortifications. But Udpu has to do it. He cannot get caught in a super turtle against Atriox because I think Atriox will win that every single time.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you, Nick, as well. I think another thing he could have also done is maybe chase down the mini bases. You know, get a scout. Because even though the turrets are sitting here on the main base, they can't shoot that far over the mini base expansion, at least on to the right of King of Reason's base, and even the forward one he's got. But of course, oh my God, look at that blue blob though! Lots of one-shot units.
There's so many one-shot units. I mean, it looks like the engineers are piling over. He's got 2 or 3 engineers clicked up, and he's moving them across the map. But it's just about, oh, he's gonna peek this base. Okay, good. He does not have that expansion, and Udpu has spotted that, making sure that he's not gonna get out competed or out-resourced like he did last time.
Yeah, and that makes sense to me, man. I see he's just going to keep trying to scout the base as best he can, sending those one-shots in, you know, get him killed, whatever. Because at the same time, King of Reason is throwing down not only a shield gen on his main base, but he also has 2 raid camps pumping out a combination of hunters, and it looks like, I bet you he'll throw down more hunters as well. I think right now he just needs a couple more hunters to deal with those, and a ranger. There we go. Getting some versitility. So,
what did you say it was? It was a vehicle symbiote?
Vehicle symbiotes. That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
vehicle symbiotes.
Well, he's got them on the chopper, but he's just letting he's getting rinsed by these hunters. Does King of Reason have a secondary base by chance?
He is about to purchase one right now. In fact, I right as you said that, I was paying too much attention to the front engagement there, because we do have not only one expansion going down, Nick, of course, per typical King of Reason fashion. We have an expansion on Udpu's side in the top left corner of the map, and both opposite corners now. All 3 corners of the map are now purchased by King of Reason. He's going to start the production. It's going to be scary.
That might end the game.
Triple expansions.
It really might, because we're falling into this spot where last time you could be seeing the new meta here, where in ones you want to get those expansions as quickly as possible. And Udpu's now going to maneuver around the map. He's not waiting around. Looks like he's going to go try to pick up some power nodes, but I'm really hoping for Udpu's sake that he finds one of these expansions. Otherwise, he's going to fall into the same trap as he did last time, Pat, where he's going to get out-resourced in the late game, and it really isn't going to matter what he does at this moment.
Right, and you know, so I've also made a video on this in the past, Nicholas, where I talk about some of the most important features of preparing for the mid to late game. Vision of the map is one of the most crucial things. Now, as you can see, Udpu does have great power node control, but at the same time, man, garrisons for King of Reason are 2 of the best garrisons on this map. In fact, the only 2 on this side, if I'm mistaken. But of course, he is able to see the power node grab there from Udpu. He sees his entire army, so he's comfortable just to walk around and make sure that he's ready to go, man. Because does Udpu know anything about all these expansions that are going down, man? 3 bases live at once.
Udpu is extremely unsettled right now. He's moving very quickly around the map with his choppers. He just hit the top base with or he just checked the top mini base, and now he's going to maneuver around towards his power node. I don't know if he has any idea that Reason or King of Reason has just picked up that top left base. It doesn't even look like he's gonna. No, he's not gonna look for it.
Yeah, it's
again the sneaky play on King of Reason could be paying off. Udpu again has not expanded. He's sitting off of 1 base, which is fine at this point. But I should say it's fine if the other person is in an Atriox, so his fortification is picking up 3 bases around the map all at once.
Yeah, man. Do you want to know how many bases King of Reason has right now? Of course, the viewers, you can see this, but King of Reason right now
has
4. 5 bases. 5 expansions on the map. You could grab 6 if he wants. I think he's just being petty right now. What
is he doing with them? Just putting harvesters on them?
He's got harvesters. He just started investing money into 2 of them. The top left one on Udpu's side has straight up harvesters on it. I bet you he upgrades that and throws a shield. Of course, we have a lot of rangers and hunters being produced, and of course, I'm seeing a couple reavers here and there from King of Reason. But mainly, in my point, biggest overall, I think, is that King of Reason is just going to surge ahead in terms of economy right now. I'm just going to take a look at production tab. He's got 900 supply, 800 power. So fast. Look at those numbers just climb right now. And that's exactly what you want to do in this situation.
King of Reason has just been spotted.
Twice.
Udpu has found 2 of his bases. And guess what Udpu's got going on his main, which could be the difference maker here? Locusts.
Locusts, okay.
He's producing locusts, and he's got a lot of them. Don't be fooled by just this one that's attacking on the top left. He's got 5 or 6, and it looks like King of Reason has just scouted out and lost one of his choppers, I'd imagine is what it was. And it looks like King of Reason, again, Pat, sure, you got the good expansion here, but is it worth it to get an expansion that you're just going to lose 2 minutes later?
Well, I'll tell you what, Nick, it is if it's a massive distraction. So even though he might lose 1 or 2 of those bases at the same time to the Locust play, he still has 2 or 3 or 4 still up and running at all times. And I think even with those Locusts, as wonderful their range is and how fast they take down the shield gens and bases, because that's what Udpu needs. I think there are just too many hunters here for King of Reason already to even be worried about that. I think if he starts throwing in some Banshees in the mix, Nick, I honestly think that he could probably take this game very quickly.
Pat, I have a real issue with hunters. I've said this in previous videos, but they are very slow units. And look, Udpu has got the scout out. They are extremely slow units. So, for instance, if King of Reason tries to push up, for instance, and attack, I don't know, a base on Udpu's side, he has now lost the ability to run back with those hunters. If the Locusts get the flank, of course he can utilize teleport, but it's a risky play since you're not Shipmaster. You won't be able to teleport as far as Shipmaster would be able to. So again, with such slow units, it could backfire.
Yeah, for sure, man. And just the amount of hunters that he has sitting on his side too, like, I mean, I totally understand it that, say, the range and the slowness, that would be pretty tough, but it just means that he's going to have the defense that he needs, because, say, you could push it, but as long as he turtles on his side, man, this is a super turtle map. He's going to be in a great spot. Those Locusts can't do anything. And it's just,
you say Locusts can't do anything, but Udpu is now pushing up to the top right, and he's probably going to knock out this base unless it's got a shield on it before hunters or any other unit will be able to attack it. This is what I'm talking about.
Oh, you're totally right with that. Yep.
See, he's not going to be able to engage with those, and he just upgraded that base. He just got a bunch of harvesters on it. If he knocks off this base again, Pat, it goes to the point. Hunters are too slow to maneuver, and I'd imagine if he does engage right here with the hunters, for whatever reason, Udpu just slides into his main and attacks with more Locusts. Again, don't be fooled by the 3 Locusts he has here. He has plenty more sitting at his base.
Nick, I don't want to scare you, but I'm a little scared.
Sure.
Right now, King of Reason is walking across a light bridge with his entire infantry army. I mean, every single one.
Oh, God.
Oh, no. Okay, so he actually just shot the Foundry there. I'm not sure if Udpu saw that, but Udpu is going to be able to rinse his expansion, I'm sure, on that top right corner. But of course,
has seen this.
Every single unit here for King of Reason has just crossed the Bridge of Death, and they are on the highway to hell to absolutely melt everything.
I think this is a terrible play.
You could be right, man.
He's got nowhere to push with this. He's got hunters. The hunters aren't going to take out the shield that quickly, especially with these Locusts inside this shield, Pat. He's got a sensory tower on it, so now he's got a double sensory tower on it, actually.
So many Locusts, actually. Oh, my.
He's got Dying Breath on it, which is a fine play. And
is he just going to focus the main base here? What's he trying to do? I think he's just trying to instigate a little bit of pressure. Oh, and he teleports out. He's like, no, I'm out. Oh, he just goes to the other side. Go for the Locust. You got to get on top of him. That's a great play. Oh, but the Hunter's Brand prediction upgraded.
What a good play. The Bulwark is in play, though.
Bulwark and Dying Breath, man.
I still think he's in a good position. Udpu is moving his Locusts around the map right now. His other Locusts, don't forget the 3 Locusts that are still alive on the other side of the map. He's moving them towards King of Reason's secondary base.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. I think every single unit from Udpu did just drop here. Velocity, Velo, if you will, is going to be put in a very bad spot to continue with this game, I think. And I think he might be aware of that. Nick, does he have any other bases on the map?
Yeah, he has a secondary base, and it's being upgraded right now. I wouldn't count Udpu out just yet. Okay. He's pushing up to... he'll be able to take out King of Reason's secondary base, and it all comes down to what does he produce on his Udpu's secondary base to kind of stop these hunters.
Right, and I want to challenge you at the same time, Nicholas. I think there are just so many hunters sitting at the secondary base that even with the Locust pressure on that Expo, like, that's the most aggressive play that Udpu could make right now to pull him at least a little tiny bit to match where he's at. But I think there are just too many hunters there. Nick, you watch that engagement. I'll pay attention here to Udpu's main as it gets a little bit rinsed here by these hunters.
Well, Pat, let me surprise you, because it's Udpu. He's double pumping Banshees at his secondary base.
Oh, no.
This could wreak havoc, especially considering that Reason has committed so heavily to these hunters.
Right, and it is going to take the hunters a long time to drop Udpu's main base. That is most certainly correct. It looks like he did hold off the pressure. Oh, but sending the Banshees in right away. I think he's just...
Oh, but you can't send in one Banshee at a time.
Oh, my. I don't know about that, man.
I think he just had a rally point set on that, and it just walked into that. He's got to wait a second. I don't think he's out yet.
A little bit of pressure there
as
from
long
the
as he
Banshees.
picks off these Reavers, then he'll be able to just eat away at those Hunters, and it'll be pretty much easy pickings at that point. But he's got to get rid of these Reavers.
I see 2 Reavers, 4 Rangers. So yeah, if he is able to kill those, then he will at least look. He's just constantly rallying those units. He knows he can get there quick enough, at least to get those units one shot. Because of course, say King of Reason isn't going to be able to get his units supply over here. At least not his reinforcements aren't going to be able to go over here quick enough. The Banshees are just going to constantly put pressure on these Rangers and the Reavers, and might even do a solid number enough to stop and save his base.
Well, if he takes out that last Reaver, Pat, I think he'll be fine. It looks like Udpu actually sacrificed a couple things on his base, and again, he's sacrificing those one-shot buildings so he can get a little bit of money back, and then reinvest it on his secondary base. He's gonna be able to save this base, I'm pretty sure. So he doesn't want to. Well, as I say that, he's only got 2 Banshees.
Oh, he just needs to get that
He's
got to
get that Reaver is just refusing to die. There it goes.
Now, of course, he has to take care of those 4 Rangers, but after that, he will not have to deal with it.
He's got to swarm on this base, otherwise he's going to lose this main, and that's probably game.
Oh, there goes the base right there.
I think that might be game, if the fact that he couldn't save that base.
You know, Nick, I know you believe in Udpu so much, man, but I just think that the pressure there, the early game pressure, is just too much there for Udpu. Just putting all that pressure on him. Looks like Udpu, if he is able to hang on, I'll be incredibly impressed, but otherwise, Udpu will be knocked out of the semifinals, and he will be no longer involved in the tournament except for the upcoming consolation match. So that means that first and second is out of his range. But anyways, Nick, moving on back to you. Is there anything else that Udpu is doing?
All right, look, he's got 4 mini bases, so he's got a good amount of power being streamed over towards him. He's even got, on one of his mini bases, he's got an extractor. So he's got a few things working for him, but I just can't imagine at this point. If I'm going to take a guess on King of Reason, he's probably picking up maybe another expansion, maybe another 2 expansions, and he's putting Udpu again in that position where, sure, you want to stay in Udpu? I'll just out-resource you into the late game. I'd imagine that's what's happening. Oh,
of course. We actually have an expansion on Udpu's main base, almost as a grave site, if you will, for King of Reason. I think he's just going to keep buying all these expos here. Does take Nick's old base after he sacked it, and I think he's just going to keep buying all the bases on the map just to kind of spite it, say, you know what, I'll get the vision, I'll just make sure that I have this game absolutely in the bag. Massive army.
Right now, Udpu's not in a position to push, so you might as well pick up those bases. You don't even have to upgrade them. Just put three harvesters on them and just ignore it for the rest of the time, because Udpu's now cornered. He's pulling out Rangers, he's putting out Banshees, and he's putting out Engineers. And I say that, and it might sound a little bit scary, but if you're being out-resourced, it doesn't matter what you have to produce. Yeah, you're going to get out-resourced, and the late game's not yours.
Yeah, exactly that, man. And say we have 2 separate armies moving out from King of Reason. He's just constantly going around the map, just making sure to check every single base. He now has 8 bases in his possession.
He's about to engage that last base.
Yeah, I think he's about to walk right into Udpu's last front door. And with the 2 armies, I think even with half an army, he is able to take out Udpu's army. Let's see. Lots of Rangers.
We'll see if an eradication beam drops as well. I'd imagine that's going to drop on Udpu's main.
I think with the teleport.
Teleports to the far side, I'd imagine.
Wait a second. I'm just going to keep those Hunters alive. That's too many Rangers.
Okay. And he's walking away from it, which seems strange. You would imagine, why wouldn't you take a power node right there in that situation?
I think right there, I think he's just trying to just make sure that he suffocates Udpu for the final time. Of course, I think this game's over. I don't know how Udpu can ever come back. It's over. Let's be real here.
It's absolutely over.
Absolutely, and I think as long as he gets his entire army set up together, the Banshees will be shut down, the Rangers will be shut down, and everything will be looking good here. Just going around, taking out those few mini bases that are still laying around, applying that pressure where he needs to. Nothing crazy. And just kind of putting himself in that, just kind of, like I said, putting the nail in the coffin for Udpu.
I can see around the map, it's just all... It looks like Udpu's just going to get engulfed here in a few moments.
Yeah,
so many units on Reason's side. He's picking up power nodes finally. He's taking out those side mini bases. Udpu is slowly losing what little control he had left of those power nodes. I do think this one's over, Pat. What could have Udpu done differently? I think just Aatrox and his fortification play is just too good, or
I think just King of Reason read the situation so well. He's like, okay, I'm just gonna put a couple turrets on my main base and get the tech 2 really quick, and then just gonna turtle and make sure the choppers can't get me. And then Udpu commit so much into that rush. He did the vehicle symbiotes, he did the skitterers, he pushed with maybe like 4 or 5 choppers and not even enough support to back that up. And when he saw that he invested all of that into his first attack and saw King of Reason's main base with all the turrets, and he saw two extractors on his base fully upgraded. I think he was just like, oh no, that's kind of a heart-sinking moment, because he knows that he's not going to be able to get Tech 2 nearly as fast. And then if you let an Atriox get Tech 2 faster than you and then buy bases around the map, you are not going to be in a happy state. Spreading the Locust across the map, chasing down those expansions was a really good play out of Udpu, but I just think that leaving his main base unattended was just enough for King of Reason to say, oh, I'm just going to walk across this bridge real quick and I'll just take you out.
Maybe if he went double shield on that main, that might have played it differently. But and Udpu's learning the hard facts right now. He's scouted 4 expansions on his side of the map from King of Reason with 1 Banshee. And Udpu's now he's going to volunteer for the shield gen. You got to give it to Udpu. He's not gonna back off on this one. He's going to play it out to the end.
Yeah.
But it looks like an overwhelming army is about to walk up to Udpu's front door.
Too many Reavers, too many Locusts to deal with. Shield's going to drop immediately, and I think the Rangers and Reaver combination, with a little bit of eradication, if you will, pardon the rhyme, I think that will definitely put the end to Udpu.
And I think this kind of solidifies the fact that Aatrox, and I've on personal thought, I've thought that Aatrox is the best player, but I think, at least in ones, and I think it's being proven right here that just why he's the best player.
Yeah, it's continually proven again and again. Having the opportunity to buy expansions at such a low rate and such
Look
a
at the
cheap
bulwark.
cost.
How many times did Colony get that Hunter's Brand out and it looked like it was going to destroy everything, and then like right here.
Yeah,
right,
nothing.
My
what
point
happened?
exactly.
I didn't even see that.
Nothing. Exactly.
Did you feel a breeze?
Nothing happened there.
I don't know. I didn't.
And
see
it looks
anything.
like he upgraded Aatrox Bulwark to level 2, I'd imagine, and this is pretty much it. Congratulations to King of Reason for making it into the grand finals of our tournament, and congratulations to Udpu for showing that he's not only a 2v2 stud, but he's a fantastic 1v1 player. And be sure to stick around for next week. We've got Udpu playing again in the 2v2 tournament.
Absolutely, it's going to be crazy. King of Reason proving why he was #1 last season, proving why he might be potentially the best 1v1 player in the world. Just constantly applying the pressure, constantly taking people down, and just always doing the better read. I think this guy most certainly deserves a semifinals Group A win. Now, Nick, before we jump away, we will take a look here at the units production post-game tab, so we can take a look at statistics here. Definitely some serious. Look at that, 13 bases to 6 on Udpu's side. That is just absolutely ridiculous. Crazy plays out of King of Reason. Better economy. Better active leader powers, not as many.
If you notice, both times it better economy, better power, and you really do win games here, because you also get more by doing that and picking up more bases and upgrading more harvesters and extractors. You're able to get more leader powers more quickly, which becomes a really big play, especially in the late game.
Yeah, for sure, and it's affordable
to get that
too.
Second bulwark upgraded, right?
Yeah,
you're able to do all this much quicker. So again. Fantastic games to both of those, and congrats to both players. And we'll see you guys for semifinals BPAT.
Yeah, King of Reason moving on 2-0.